Alright, now we're ready to play around with this data. So hopefully you can see how cool this really is. I mean, it makes so much sense to me, but I want it to make sense to you, what we just did. We've averaged data to be very, very smooth. And then we remap the data to something that we need, 0 to 255. In one of the previous examples, we used this, okay, and I think this was in chapter 2, where we took an analog rote out to an LED with a for loop saying 0 to 255, and then we raised it by increments of 5. Okay, we've bypassed that, so we no longer have it as a for loop. We just had to reconstruct the data to be 0 to 255. In this case, we have this. And as I put my hand over the top of the sensor, it gets close to 255. So what do we really need here now? Well, if we look at our example before, we had this thing called analog write. I'll snarf it just for entertainment's sake. So this is how I take notes. I use Google Docs a lot, and I'll probably share that code out later on some way, because you know what, if I teach this as a class, what I want to do is not give them that. I'll give them a printout of it. Okay, so in this case, we're going to take and paste this over. And just before it gets into the serial print of it, we'll take an analog write a pin. Well, LED pin, what's that? Well, let's write it up here. LED pin, and in that case it's equal to 9. Cool. So now we got LED pin, fade value. Well, we don't want fade value, we want mapping. Okay, so there we go. We have our mapping down here now, which is also these numbers over here. Oh, this is gonna be sweet. Okay, so I'm going to put my hand over the sensor. So now not just on and off anymore, it's fading. And you know what's super cool about this? If I took this LED out of here and ran a wire, like the positive and negative from an audio cable, over to my speakers or my input on my computer, okay, and I go like this, you know what it's going to do? It's going to go, you know, and you can really, for those people that DJ and stuff like that, this is a really cool thing. I don't have a cable that's already cut or anything like that right now, but that would be a pretty cool thing to show as far as the noise that comes out of this, because we are taking and smoothing out data. We can use that data as audio because it's pulse width modulated. Very sweet. So maybe I'll look for a cable to hack up here in a second. See you in the next video.